It's the week of WonderCon and I am still prepping for the show. I have an artist alley table and today I'm going to be finishing up decorating my tiny fake cakes as well as finishing my trinket dishes. So keep me company while I con crunch. I've been vending at WonderCon for a really long time, but I've only had an artist alley table for a few years now. When I first started doing this show, I had a 10 by 10 booth out on the exhibitor's floor. The biggest difference between having a booth versus a table is obviously the size of the space and the cost. A booth, the last time I checked, was around $2,000 for WonderCon, while a table is around $300. They do offer a discount on booths if you pay by a certain deadline, so it can really be around $11.50. But that's still so much money. Either way, the cost was a huge factor in why I decided to downgrade. Also, over the last few years, I've basically streamlined my setup to only need a 6-foot table space, which is what they provide you in Artist Alley. I enjoy the Artist Alley experience, but there are a few things that I would change. For one thing, I don't love being right on top of one another's tables. I know they do this to maximize space, but aside from it being a huge safety hazard, it's really difficult to enter and exit your table space, unless you have a corner spot. Last year, I had a table that was more or less in the middle of the row, so every time I needed to enter and exit my table space, I had to walk through other artists' personal space and maneuver myself to not trip and fall over suitcases, bins, and people. I've done some shows where Artist Alley rows had enough of a gap between the tables that the artists could enter and exit without too much of an issue. But if you've ever been to WonderCon, you know that they don't give us that little gap. Another thing that I love about Artist Alley is that if you have a great neighbor, you can easily make friends, or at the very least, have somebody to chat to for the entire weekend. My husband usually helps me at cons, but if he's out of town, I rely on the kindness of my neighbors to watch my booth while I need to use the restroom. I'll usually bring a snack bag with me for conventions because you never know when you'll be able to get a chance to eat a full meal. I usually will snack during show hours and have a proper dinner at the end of the show day. Depending on how busy it gets, sometimes shoving a bite in here and there is the only thing you have time to do. This year my placement is a corner spot, which is wonderful, but it also faces a wall, which is less than ideal. I'm going to bring some lights to help illuminate my table space because this particular row is a little bit darker than the rest. Luckily, I got some camping lights last year for a night market that I can make use of for this weekend, which should help my booth stand out. Tomorrow is the big setup day. I'll be leaving LA around 1 p.m. to try to get to Anaheim by 3 p.m. You never know what the traffic's going to look like, so I'm giving myself plenty of time to get there. 3 p.m. is the earliest Artist Alley tables will be available for setup, which is kind of a bummer. I would have loved to get there early and head home before rush hour traffic, but it looks like by the time I finish, rush hour will just be getting started. So either I'll fight traffic all the way home, or I'll just hang out in OC and have some dinner. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do just yet. I know I've done this convention a million times, but I always get nervous. With any show, there's always peaks and valleys of customers and sales. I have my numbers on my phone from last year, so I'll be able to compare my numbers in real time. At the very least, I want to do the same as last year, but doing better is always the goal. My items range in price point from $3 to $40. It's important to me to have a variety of prices that appeal to everyone. It might not be in your budget to get that trinket dish or a fake cake, but you can get a sticker or a pin that's more budget friendly. I always love to see how people react to my art in person, It's the validation that I need sometimes to keep going with my art, especially because I spend so much time creating alone. I still have a lot to do to get ready for WonderCon, so enjoy the rest of the video, and if you're coming to WonderCon, come visit me in Artist Alley. I'll be at table F54. My table is pink and purple and sparkly. You can't miss me. Okay, bye!
And he has a plan to solve it. Eliminate all taxes on labor and implement a single tax tied to land ownership. The idea is to make wealthy landlords pay. Edges are different things like luxury properties, everything. The middle has the bank like it is now. So I definitely see the vision of Monopoly here with this board game. Yeah, you can see the vision. Well, the landlord's game actually has two set of rules. One version, you win by creating monopolies. But there's an alternate set of rules that operates on Georgia's principles. This version rewards everyone when Lizzie wants her players to explore two different types of economic structures and think about which
How do I
one
get
she'd
you
like
out?
to see in the real world. In 1904, Lizzie patents her game.
Oh,
It's the
jeez.
first time a woman has ever
Stop.
patented a board.
Yeah. You're just a bird. You're just a bird. Come on. Ugh. Come on. Out. The door's right there. It's wide open. Come on. Oh, don't hurt yourself. Come on. Yay! Jeez. All I wanted to do was eat my lunch, and then I ended up having to rescue a hummingbird in my studio.